A good morning to all of you. A cold December morning here in College Station, but nonetheless a big one for the Texas A&M Aggies. Christmas is coming, but the Aggies opened some gifts today. I'm Will Johnson in the south end zone of Kyle Field, and this is A&M's National Signing Day show. Over the next couple of hours, we are going to run down A&M's class of 2026 in this recruiting cycle, and we are going to get the help of Mike Elko and his staff in doing so. Every coach at every position will visit this desk over the course of the next couple of hours. And for Coach Elko and the Aggies, it is another impressive haul in this cycle. Let's start by talking rankings. That's always big on this signing day. Across the board, throughout the recruiting outlets across the country, this is a top 10 class that A&M already had committed before today. And according to ESPN, it's a top 5 class. That's the highest ranking for A&M in this cycle. ESPN has the Aggies with the number 5 class in the country. And if you want to look at some of the individuals right off the bat here, we'll tell you who the highest ranked offensive and defensive players are. Let's go offensive first. Highest ranked player on that side of the ball for the Aggies is the running back KJ Edwards out of Carthage, Texas. Proud program. ESPN ranks KJ among the top 50 players nationally. He is going for another state title. He and the Bulldogs still in the playoffs here in Texas. He has already won a couple of state titles with Carthage. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. Who's the highest ranked player over there? Well, that's Brandon Arrington. Brandon is listed as an athlete, but we're going to discuss him on the defensive side of the ball today in the secondary. He's from Spring Valley, California, Mount Miguel High School. He's a 5-star by ESPN, and he is the 18th ranked player in the country according to them, and also ESPN ranks Brandon as the number 1 athlete in the entire nation. And then everybody asks the question, did you sign a quarterback? And yes, the Aggies did, and they went to Provo, Utah to go get him. Holmon Kasuga is the QB in this class. He's from Corner Canyon High School in Provo. He is among ESPN's top 300 nationally. He just completed back-to-back state titles with Corner Canyon. Almost 4,000 yards passing this year for Holmon Kasuga. So that's a few of the individuals, and we will touch on a whole lot more as we go through this. Like we said, Coach Elko, he's going to join us. That's at the close of the show. And we are going to hear from a couple members of our recruiting office here at Texas A&M, and you'll get a little bit of a look at the inside process of all this. Plus, every coach at each position will visit our desk today to help us sort through A&M signing class of 2026. And in a matter of moments, we will hear from offensive line coach Adam Cushing. That's who's going to kick things off for us. Off and running, south end zone of Kyle Field. It's Texas A&M's National Signing Day show. We're taking a look at the 2026 class, and we will talk offense beginning on the other side of the break.
You know, Chase is very strong, probably the strongest collegiate football player that I've ever coached. You know, he's strong, and God blessed him with a different set of genes and a neuromuscular system than a lot of people. He's able to move weight at a speed that's just uncommon.
I love the weight room, yes sir. You know, Coach Moffitt, Coach Blake definitely changed the environment and the culture that we have, the juice that we bring in the weight room. And I mean, you see guys think we're a much bigger, stronger, faster team this year. So a lot of guys love the weight room, I would say more.
There's no going through the motions in the weight room with Basantis. He attacks workout sessions with vigor, and he's conquered strength records with numbers that are off the charts.
Oh, he's got the best squat that I've ever seen recorded in a collegiate weight room. So he squatted 705 pounds with just a belt. So that's impressive.
First and foremost, Armaje is one of the best teammates on the whole team. He's one of those guys that anytime a teammate needs something, he's the first guy to volunteer to serve them, right? He's a great servant leader, and his emotion and his heart is always at the forefront of everything he does, right? He wears it on his sleeve, and I think guys respect the way that he goes about his business because he attacks it with emotion, and he really truly exudes joy when he's around the facility. He wants to be there, and I think guys gravitate to that.
I think that's the personality that he has, and it's the personality that I think attracts a lot of people willing to follow him, which is why he gets so many votes to be our captain. I think, and sometimes that's really challenging when you come into a program as a transfer, but I think he's just got that energy about how he cares about the players around him. Offense, defense doesn't really matter. Old, young doesn't really matter. He's just a really, really good influence on our program.
Welcome back to the south end zone of Kyle Field. Let's get things going. We kick it off on the offensive side of the ball, and we are going to discuss the O-line. And to help us do so, we have Adam Cushing with us. He runs the offensive line here at Texas A&M. Great day. Always a fun day. It's a long process to get here, though, isn't it?
It's a long process, but yeah, this is it's always a celebration, and we're happy to be here.
No doubt. And we've got 4 on the offensive line that we're going to discuss with you. And the first one comes from the Metroplex, DFW. He's from Prosper, Texas. You signed Zayden Crimpen in this class.
Yeah, Zayden, incredible football player, one of the most fundamentally sound high school players I've ever seen, and plays for a great Aggie. Tyler Moore is the head coach up there at Prosper, and Brian Thompson, great offensive line coach at that program that's pumped out a bunch in the last few years, and I would argue that Zayden's the best one that they've had. And he's pretty darn special, special fundamentally and special mindset. Pretty impressive young man. Big addition to the Bruins.
Real highly recruited guy. A lot of people wanted Zayden, and it appeared that he played a lot of left tackle, maybe at Prosper. Is that where you project him? But I know you like to move guys around once they get here to A&M.
Yeah, I think anybody that's got that tackle ability and that tackle, just understanding of space, we're going to give them an opportunity to play there, and then figure out what's best for the line, right? And I think, the best part about Zayden is he wants to play, and he doesn't care what position it is. He just wants to be on the football field. That's been the discussion the whole time, that he believes he can play tackle, and as do I. But we've also said, like let's find the best place for you so that you can go out there and help us win football games.
All right, let's go to our next offensive lineman that you will coach here, and that's Sam Roseborough. This is really a national class. You guys went all over the country to get guys. Now, Sam comes from Clearwater, Florida. He is among one of the best 300 players in the country, according to ESPN.
Yeah, Sam is an incredible athlete. His twitch, his explosiveness, the strength he plays the game with, really excited about his future as an interior player, right? He's a people mover. Had an opportunity to see him, play in person, and he really does. He does play really, really hard, and he takes people somewhere against their will. It's really, really fun to watch.
And it seemed like he already had some versatility. I think he played multiple spots at Clearwater.
He played every position, as well as some fullback, as well as they handed him the ball. I mean, he's one of those athletes that is pretty special. So we're excited to get him in here and figure out, again, the right fit landing spot for him on the line. But as you mentioned, right, we love moving guys around, and having that versatility will give him a lot more ability to impact the program early.
All right, we're coming back to Texas for your next offensive lineman, Missouri City, Texas. He went to Ridge Point High School. Avery Morcho joins your group.
Avery's big, long, natural tackle body, bunch of athletic ability. Avery's a guy we had in camp as a young player when we first got here, and got an ability to see him and what his potential could be. And I think just watching him over the last 2 years since we've been here develop into what we thought he was going to be, and he hasn't yet to, he's yet to scratch the surface of his best football, which is really exciting.
You think of athleticism. Avery played some basketball in high school, and we could probably ask any coach today, you want those multi-sport athletes, but I always find it impressive for the offensive linemen. That's a footwork thing when they can play some basketball as well.
Yeah, especially at all positions on the O-line, but especially at tackle. It's a space game, right? You play a very different position than center, where you're compressed and you're in a phone booth, right? You're playing in a lot more space. basketball is a space game. Avery's athleticism translates really well to playing on the edge.
Mm-hmm. One more on the offensive line, and it's Hunter McKinney. He comes from Montgomery Lake Creek High School, and we know there's a proud dad out there that watches Hunter McKinney sign with Texas A&M today.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in Aggie land is going to be surprised by the name McKinney. Obviously, proud tradition in that family. Dad and uncle both playing here, and Hunter's going to carry it on, man. We're excited. He's another guy we had in camp as a young player, another guy we've really seen develop, another people mover on the inside, right? A big, strong guy that I really, again, believe his best football is ahead of him, and is one of those developmental guys that I think is just going to get better and better and better every single year.
Yeah, Dad, Steve, he played for the Aggies in the late 90s. He then went on to over a decade in the NFL. You mentioned Uncle, too. His Uncle Seth, same thing, about a decade in the NFL. Seth was recently inducted into our A&M Hall of Fame. So congratulations to the McKinney family on this day. And one more thing before you go, because I just wanted to ask about your 2025 offensive line. You got to be so proud of that group. As we sit here today, you guys are getting ready for the college football playoff. We'll know more about that on Sunday when the field is selected. We know you guys will be in it. But your offensive line, they've been named a semifinalist already for the Joe Moore Award, and they only name 10 semifinalists. So to those that select, they're saying you already have a top 10 offensive line the way you guys have operated this year.
Yeah, incredibly proud of these guys. Incredibly proud of the group for we mentioned before, the versatility they've shown, right? To have some of those guys have the starting left tackle play a bunch of center, to have the center play both guards, and have these guys love playing next to each other. And the bond that you see, I think, is what makes this group the most uncommon. This top group of 7 guys that have played significant snaps this year, as well as started over 20 Power 5 football games in their career, every single one of them, has really set a standard that we want the Maroon Goons to be all about, right? Of physicality, toughness, and togetherness, that when you step out there on that football field, right, you got to deal with us. And they're really proud to carry on the proud tradition and kind of lay that next chapter.
All right, great stuff kicking us off. Appreciate your time, Coach.
Appreciate it so much, Giggle.
All right, Adam Cushing right here to get us all started on the other side of the break. Wide receivers coach, Holmon Wiggins.
And Concepcion fields at the 20 to the 25, beats a defender, 35, 40, gets to the outside. This now becomes a race. He's gone. He's gone. His first TD as an Aggie. No flags. Touchdown. Barnes sacked again. Back at the 10-yard line. Throws, end zone, caught. Touchdown. Touchdown. Nate Morkager. Snap to Arnold. 4th and 1. Up the middle. They got him. They got him. The defense comes through. Sanford and Hayes. Ball game. Shotgun snap, Marcel, and he has time. Shot left side wide open. Casey spins. Still on his feet. Dragging. Touchdown. He dragged that defender hard as hell. He would not be stopped. He was going to get it into the end zone, and he did it. It's Le'Veon right up the middle. Le'Veon along the hashes. Le'Veon inside the 10. Le'Veon touchdown. Aggies from 22 yards. He got hit 3 or 4 times, and he just wouldn't go down. Le'Veon Moss for the touchdown. Marcel going for Ashton Bethel-Roman. He's got it. Touchdown. Right side of the end zone. Marcel to Ashton Bethel-Roman. Touchdown. Aggies. Marcel running right up the middle. 35-30. Whole lot of room in front of him. Stays on his feet. Dives. Touchdown. Marcel Reed. 2 on the play clock. 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Sanford here. Bubble. Picked up in the air. Dalton Brooks inside the 3-yard line. Oh, the pressure came. Forced the fumble, returned to the 2. Here comes Brooks. Sellers steps up and runs to the right. Ball game! What a comeback by A&M!
We're off and running on Texas A&M's National Signing Day show, and now we sit down with wide receivers coach Holmon Wiggins, and he has a good group to talk about, believe me, but always an exciting day. Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Christmas comes early.
That's right. That's what we said. That's how we started the show. You guys are opening some gifts today.
There's no doubt.
And you've got 4 of them that you'll unwrap, and we'll dive into them right here. And it starts in Douglasville, Georgia, Douglas County High School. Aaron Gregory is a top 75 player nationally, according to ESPN, and I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah, Aaron, probably one of the more elite receivers that we got a chance to kind of get a hold of. Really great length, unbelievable catch radius, does a great job in and out of his cuts. Like he just, kind of puts the whole receiver game on display. Kind of reminds me a lot of Devontae Smith, kind of when he was a young wide receiver, man. But we're excited about him, super cerebral, self-starter, motivated to kind of be great. So I think he wants to come in and kind of make his impression felt early.
And I love this about Aaron. Every year, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, they pick a Super 11 each year. Aaron is on that. He's considered by that publication one of the best 11 players in Georgia. It's the first time someone from his school was selected since 1986. Now, that needs to mean something to guys, when you have that honor. But great to see him on that list. And this is a guy that went for almost 3,000 yards in a career.
You talk about super productive, but also probably one of the most humble humans that you can kind of be around, right? Ended up outfitting his team in Adidas gear, but he cares more about kind of, his team than himself. But does an unbelievable job of going out there and playing the ball when it's in the air, competitive, also played on both sides of the ball. So when you sit there and think about him as an elite player, like gave you some position flex, showed some physicality on the defensive side, but we definitely want to use all of that on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I was just talking to Coach Cushing. We said this class is national. You guys have gone coast to coast to get guys. So we go from Georgia to California to visit Madden Williams. And if you get a guy from St. John Bosco over there in California, you're getting a guy from a really good program.
Yes, you talk about guys that come from Bosco. The kid's a proven winner, actually is a touchdown record holder at Bosco with 27 touchdowns, was super productive, probably the most elite hands that I've seen kind of in this receiver class, does an unbelievable job of kind of playing the ball, has really good body control, the ability that he has to kind of contort his body to sit there and snatch the catch. And the best thing about him this year was just seeing him with the run after the catch, his instincts and his plans with the ball in his hands, which, were phenomenal. So you got a chance to kind of see him continue to get better from the production that he had a year ago to now. And now we're excited that he's going to be lining up for the Aggies.
Yeah, he averaged almost 20 yards a catch this past season. He caught 10 touchdowns, and you kind of mentioned a little bit of it, but to touch on more, a guy that can go grab 50-50 balls, is that incredibly valuable, and is Madden one of those guys?
Yes, it's always valuable, right? Because in today's day and age, and especially in this conference in the SEC, you're going to see tighter coverage. So when a guy that can somewhat look covered but still be uncovered because of his catch radius and his ability to go play the ball, like that gives you a safety blanket and a little bit of an outlet. So we're excited about him. He also gives us a little position flexibility. He has the ability to play in the slot, smart enough to play outside. So, that's a guy that we feel like will get a chance to just line up in between the white lines.
All right, let's come back to Texas now for your next wide receiver. He comes from Spring. Went to Houston Legacy, and he is a legacy, and that is with both parents. How about Mike Brown? Your thoughts on him?
Mike Brown is probably the smoothest receiver in this class. We're excited about him. There's no doubt that he's a legacy kid. Dad, Reggie, played football here at Texas A&M, and his mother played, Miss Carrie, she played basketball here. But the kid is a smart kid, really good hands, plucks the ball well, really, really smart. I love the fact that he can come and get here and play inside in the slot for us, can get in and out of breaks, really does a great job also with the ball in his hands. When you look at the production that he had from this year, like the yards after catch, but also, the yards per catch were pretty remarkable.
Yeah, Reggie, he played over there on that wrecking crew defense in the 90s for the Aggies, but he let his son get away to the offense over to you guys. But Mike, state long jump champ.
Yes.
And I know you guys love the dual sport athletes, but I mean, that's got to say something about his athleticism if you can win the long jump.
Well, that's the thing. When you talk about a lot of these guys, a lot of them are dual sport guys, but also we love the fact that they just love to compete, all right? And, you know, the ability to be able to leap and cover the ground that he can, right? That definitely plays a part in him playing receiver. And you see it in his gait and his stride when he does have the ball in his hand. So we're excited about Mike.
All right, so Georgia, California, back into Texas with these wide receivers. One more to visit when it comes to Coach Wiggins here. We're staying in Texas, right around the Houston area. Iowa Colony, Texas, top 300 player nationally, according to ESPN. Coach, it's Jaden Warren.
Well, Jaden Warren's a force, right? You talk about being all of 6'2", 200 plus pounds, runs a 10-2, 10-300 meter guy, right? So he's a guy that we feel like can stretch the field vertically, definitely going to be an outside presence for us. Love the kid, love what he's about. We got a chance, you know, to kind of recruit him, and we feel like we're getting a steal. And we didn't have too far to go, you know, with him being at Iowa Colony. And right now, he's still playing, trying to end up winning a championship. And I think they've done a remarkable job of going out there and producing, and his tape has just continued to get better. He does a great job of showing the fact that he can play with strength, that he can play with speed, he can beat you, you know, vertically. He can also sit there and catch a hitch and beat a guy kind of off press. So, like, we're excited about what Jaden can do.
Yeah, I love when we can do this, like you said, and we will throughout the show. When guys are still in the playoffs, we'll update you on it. Iowa Colony, they'll take on Richmond Randall in the Class 5A Division II playoffs on Friday with a state semifinal trip on the line. Man, that'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it definitely is, right? And when you talk about, you know, at this day and age, right, there's the competition continues to get steeper, and I think that's where he definitely does a great job of going out there and excelling, man. So he's a guy that we feel like is a threat the minute he touches the ball. So, like, we're excited about Jaden.
Yeah, exciting day overall.
Yes,
Congratulations to you and the Aggies. It's always a fun day and a lot to get here, but well done today. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the time.
Thank you.
All right, Holmon Wiggins right here on Texas A&M's National Signing Day show. 4 receivers coming in to Texas A&M that he will now coach. When we come back, we stay with some of the pass catchers, and we'll talk with Christian Ellsworth, our tight ends coach.
Good universities make an impact, and great universities stand for something. Texas A&M University stands to lead, to serve, to dream Texas-sized dreams and achieve them. Together, we take action for the good of Texas, the nation, and beyond. While some strive to be the best in the world, Texas A&M stands to be the best for the world. Here, we believe everything is possible.
Literally everything.
When we stand together, we are a powerful force, a force for good.
Welcome back to our National Signing Day show here in the south end zone of Kyle Field. Will Johnson with you. We're going through the offensive side of the football on this first half of the show, and now we visit with tight ends coach Christian Ellsworth. And you've got 3 in this class to talk about, and that may seem like a lot, but you can never have too many tight ends, can you?
No, and the system that we play and with you know, the style of play that we've found to be successful in the SEC, we need as many big pass catching and physical blockers that we can get out there on the football field.
All right, so let's go through your trio of pass catchers and blockers. And You go to Waukee, Iowa to get this first one that we will talk about. Evan Jacobson, and you know it well that good tight ends are grown in Iowa.
Oh man, we've circled that area of the country as being a focal point for us, and finding these guys that can do it all, be every down tight ends. That's what you're going to get out of Evan. You know, he's a multi-sport athlete, very, very good basketball player. Going to try his hand at that here as well in College Station. But the relationships to that family and that area of the country means a lot to me, having played my college ball there. So I've known the Jacobson family for a long time. So it's been special to get to recruit Evan and show him what he can do here in College Station. You know, he's a big, long body, going to do a great job in the run game of being able to be physical on the edge. But also when the ball's in his vicinity, he's going to be able to go make a play. He's got a catch radius that's off the charts, and you're really going to like watching him follow his senior year. They're going to have a really, really good basketball season as well. He's a heck of a talent, and really glad that we have him.
Yeah, I love it when you get these guys that can play on the basketball court as well. And like you said, Evan, terrific at hoops also. Moving on, Caden KK Johnson. We come back to Texas for this one. He's from Missouri City, Texas. Fort Bend Marshall High School, proud program down there. But I know Caden, he played a lot of quarterback for the Buffaloes.
He did. You know, KK is truly an all-around athlete. And over at Marshall, they put him at quarterback, and he was the best player on the field, and has had a heck of a career for himself. He's got close to 50 career touchdowns, you know, running and throwing, and just has done a great job with being able to really adapt. You know, we saw him throughout the spring season and recruiting, and also during a camp this summer. And man, his athletic ability and just size-speed combination is just something that you can't teach. He comes from great genetics. His dad, Spencer, played 9 years in the NFL as a defensive end with Minnesota and with the Bills. And so getting Caden, a local guy, somebody that's going to come in with great leadership ability, and just the physical tools that really make you excited at the tight end spot. I think he's got a bright future ahead, you know, and has the ability to really be versatile with his athletic ability.
Oh, yeah, Fort Bend Marshall, that's KK Johnson. Same high school as Devon A-Chain, by the way. Got to give a shout out to that Aggie, who's having an all-pro type season for the Miami Dolphins. But one more tight end to discuss with Coach Ellsworth, and we're going to go to Arizona to find him from Mesa. Caleb Tafua.
Yeah, so Caleb has been the longest of the three, longest committed to us. Committed around this time last year. You know, you're going to see with him, again, a great size-speed combination. Has incredible hands, ability to sink in and out of routes. Has done a great job as far as being able to go attack the ball and play physical. You know, he's a big body. When you get around him, he'll impress you with his stature. He does a great job of, like I said, being physical on the perimeter, and has come a long ways this year. He kind of went through a couple of different schools and just finding the right fit for him at the high school level, but found his home at Mesa this fall and really kind of took that lead by storm. And in only 6 games that he played was one of the leading receivers in that entire district, and you can see some of the plays that he's been able to make go up and attack the football.
With all these guys, you think of Evan, KK, Caleb, just the importance of a tight end to be dual purpose in the fact that they've got to line up next to a tackle, maybe even put their hand in the dirt and block, but you could split guys out maybe around the slot, things like that. It's almost multi-purpose because you need that in all 3 of these guys, just like you needed that from all of your tight ends in this 2025 season.
That's exactly right. And we pride ourselves in being able to have those guys do everything. I don't want to have to be sitting there in a game plan and say I got to get this guy on the field if it's a pass play, or this guy on the field if it's a run play. We want them to be able to do it all. And that's what we feel like we're getting out of these guys. They're going to be physically impressive. They're strong. Every one of them has the ability to control the edge of the line of scrimmage and really help us in the run game. But then again, this is going to be one of the best looking athletic groups of tight ends that you're going to see in the country. And, we kind of always joked, Evan's a dual sport guy. All of them have played some basketball, but I always joke, I want my tight end room to be the best group on the team if we were to go pick up and play 5-on-5 basketball. Now, I got to be on the team. So, I'll run point or something, throw some alley-oops, but we'll take on anybody on the roster.
A distributor.
That's right.
You'll dish.
Yeah. I know my role.
Good deal. Congratulations on the class. Always good talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Christian Ellsworth, and that was 3 tight ends that he's got coming to Texas A&M for him. When we come back, a conversation with our Director of On-Campus Recruiting, Kianna Jasper.
Coach, let's hand off to you. Here we go. There we go, Mom.
I feel amazing. It's a big accomplishment, so I'm very excited about it. And I got the diamond on top of my ass, so.
Watch him get that ring. The only bigger deal would be watch him get that degree. You ain't seen a coach dance with, but you might see it that day.
Yeah, it's truly earned. Like, they ain't just giving it to anybody, though. Everybody gotta earn it.
We continue with our National Signing Day show here in the south end zone of Kyle Field, and first half of the show, offensive side of the football, but we take a little break from that to visit with our Director of On-Campus Recruiting, Kianna Jasper. Thanks for the visit, and I just feel like, I don't know if this is a day of relief for you, excitement. It's a long process to get here. You're so involved in all of it. When they finally sign and the class is complete, what's the overwhelming sentiment that you feel on a day like this?
Honestly, I think a little bit of both. Like, obviously, super duper excited, super duper relieved, but then, like, I don't know, you just feel a great sense of pride, I think is the best way to explain it. I mean, you spend a year plus talking to the guys, their families, and so when they finally, like, put pen to paper, I don't know, it's just like a surreal feeling.
But in some ways, does it ever really stop? I mean, you're going to move on to the next.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a dead period right now, but like you get back started in January and it's just a whole new everything.
Yeah, it all turns again.
Yeah.
But I think you're so involved with our official visits. When that recruit comes to visit Texas A&M, I think a lot of people would love to know what goes into that. What does it almost look like from the arrival of the player to the time they leave, and you're trying to give Texas A&M the best look possible to that young man to try to get him to come here to play football?
For sure. Like, a lot of planning goes into it. I think, like, the biggest thing is, I don't know, kind of like picking out the individual, figuring out what's going to be important for them specifically when they come on the visit. A lot of guys, like, academics is going to be big for a lot of them. Obviously, like, their football meetings, the entertainment aspect of it all. So I think it's just like top to bottom, kind of picking out what's special about Texas A&M, but then also kind of what's special about the guy's personality, kind of intertwining those two things. And
do you have to do it really condensed? It's almost a rapid fire weekend, is it not? Because you want them to see everything they want, but there's just not a whole lot of time to do it.
And then, like, during our June visits, specifically for the high school guys, it's like almost 20 of them here at one time. So it's putting them all in that big group and making sure they're interacting with each other, but then also, like, individualizing it as much as possible so they feel like they're special and having their own visit, essentially.
You mentioned getting to know the player and their families. Is that maybe one of the joys to the work, the relationship you build, not just with that guy. The parents, brothers, sisters, anybody who comes with him on a visit, is that maybe a perk to it all, the relationship building aspect of all this?
For sure. Like, anybody that knows me knows I am a sibling gal. Like, I am so close with all, like, the younger, older siblings. Aaron Gregory, his sister Savannah, like, that is my girl. I think it's just, it's probably one of, if not the best part about this whole process. It's just, like, getting to talk to them, getting to build relationships, love all the families, love all the guys, but for sure the siblings is my favorite part.
Any big personalities in this class? Maybe a funniest, or is that hard to choose from in this class of 2026?
For sure. I think you have like your little groups. The receivers have a lot of personality always. The DBs, oh my gosh, they're insane. I think they're all special in their own way. I think they're just all funny. They're all great. Big personalities for sure, all of them. Even the quiet ones, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know who's a big personality is Trooper Taylor. And
oh my
he's
gosh.
up next after you. It's got to be fun to work with these guys and Trooper Taylor in particular.
Yeah, they're a great group for sure.
No doubt. Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks for all the work you do. Congratulations on this class. And then we have to move into wishing you all the best as you move into the next class. So thanks so much for the time, Kianna.
No, for sure. Thank you.
All right. Kianna Jasper, our Director of On-Campus Recruiting here at Texas A&M. And like we said, when we come back, we talk running backs with Trooper Taylor. It is Texas A&M's National Signing Day show. We are here in the south end zone of Kyle Field running down the class, a consensus top 10 class according to ESPN, a top 5 class. And we're going to talk with one of the coaches that's more instrumental in our recruiting process, Trooper Taylor. And first of all, I had to bring this up. You're going to coach running backs. We see the celebration on the sidelines at games this year. You even brought the touchdown towel with you today.
Got to have it. At the end of the day, it starts with that. Because and a lot of people ask about the touchdown towel. The thing that it does is you score the touchdown, but you give it to somebody that helped you get there. And so they get to light it up and blow it up with the whole group. And so that's just something that we created when we got here, just to, the men out of 10 type of encouragement for everybody to play hard. But know as a player, when I score, it takes us all. It ain't just me doing it. So it's just something that for us is a tradition that we wanted to get started that helps us win games. And it has showed up a lot. The touchdown towel has been done. So we want to continue that tradition with these guys.
Exactly. You give out the towel, then somebody's got to light somebody up.
Yes, sir. You got it down. We have to get you an order for that. You ready?
You've seen it enough. Hey. I've seen it quite a bit.
I like that.
Well, I tell you, he's got 49 career touchdowns, and he's still in the Texas high school playoff, so he may get a 50th 30th this week. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But you've got KJ Edwards in this class, and when you talk Carthage, Texas, you're talking about a very proud high school program in the Lone Star State.
Absolutely. It's East Texas football. Coach Jerod does a great job. Even going there and recruiting, and you're watching in that program, and obviously even his teammate, but there's several players that are going to Division I programs off that team. It's something in the water. They're going for their second state championship, and when you watch those kids practice, you watch the way they go through drills and understand the alignment, assignment, and effort, and then the physicality that they play when and travel with, it's exciting. It's almost a plug-and-play deal, and that's what was really special. And not to mention the guy averages 13 yards a carry. I'm not good at math, but that's a first down. The guy pretty special. Pretty special.
So the update with KJ, Coach mentioned it, Texas High School playoffs on Friday in Tyler. It is the Class 4A Division II Regional Finals. Carthage, they are 13-0, and they will take on Athens.
Yes.
And I know you love following Texas high school football, and you love following your guys. I got to think you might be tuned into Carthage, 100%. Athens on Friday night.
I guarantee you I will be. I got my wristband with the Bulldogs on there, and that's hard for a Cuervo Gobbler now. I'm just letting you know. We were still in the playoffs, so trust me, that's hard. But for us, being with Coach Elko, we started a long time ago saying that blood just makes you kin. Love, trust, respect, commitment, hard work, that makes you family. And coming from East Texas, just like Bussy and other guys, with guys coming from Jasper, all those area type guys, they really buy in quickly, and they're easy to plug in because they understand that work ethic and the family atmosphere and the whole deal. And that's what we're trying to create here. And so for me, his mom, I mean, when I tell you Miku, she is unbelievable. And then he got a little brother that I wish I could speak on, but I'll just say we'll be back. I'm just going to say we'll be back.
Enough said, yeah.
Absolutely. But, the whole school, Coach Jerod treated me great. There's a trainer there that every time I knock on the door, she screamed to come get it. And then had a teacher, Mrs. Porter, that when I go see them, they're in that classroom, and her whole classroom was Aggie gear, the whole deal. It was just special to see the A&M tradition throughout that area. I mean, it is amazing. When you hear the tradition about Aggies helping Aggies, you feel that when you go there. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it, and can't wait to get that guy to be part of the stable, because he is a hard worker and he is a football player.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking to Kianna Jasper, and we asked, it's one of the perks to her job, the relationship building aspect of that. Well, I can tell it is to you. You love it. You love going across Texas, going across the country, and just getting to know these people and anyone who's attached to them.
100%, because it makes all the difference in the world, the relationships part of it. It's just like the wall behind us. Everybody else sees the brick. I see that mortar around that brick, because if you move that away from it, it's just a pile of rocks. And the people that are in their family, that's the mortar. That teacher that I talked about, the coaches that I talked about, the different people, the little trainer at their school, all those people helped him get to where he's at. Mom and dad, those are obvious. It's the grandpas and those people that you get to be a part of. I went to his grandpa's house, and they love watching putting the cards together. That's the first time I ever watched the show, but I sat through an hour of them guys rebuilding a car that actually was for Earl Campbell. What are we talking about? But I watched the whole deal because that's what they did. Then they barbecued, we ate, we played spades. We barely even talked football. But I felt that comfort, and that's what I think translates here, and it allows you to coach him hard, but love him hard too. And he's a special kid, but the things that he brought with him are the same.
All right, Coach, we will see you and the touchdown towel and the college football playoff coming up.
Let's
we appreciate your time.
Let's go. Stable, be ready.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Trooper Taylor adds another one to the stable. Coming up next, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Collin Klein on our National Signing Day show.
Hurry, 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 hurry! Get it going now, get it going! Trunk twist! Turn up the jock rock, Donnie. Good technique today. I want y'all to be aggressive. I want great technique. Here we go now. Work day, baby, work day. Go hard, go hard. We're starting to put some weight on the bar. Y'all done warming up? Good, Jern, good, Jern. Very good, very good. Hey, go faster, faster. Speed it up, more legs, more legs. My feet are gonna be flat. I take a big, deep breath of air. I fill up, I squat, and I drive the bar over my head. Good, Dane. Hey, speed that bar up. You can't make it go fast enough. Good, good, good. It's okay to widen your grip, but if you get it too wide, you lose power to hold the bar over your head. Go fast! Move that way! Move that way! Hey, Miles, let's knock somebody's helmet off right here, all right? Your 305 was nice. That was really, really, really good. Luke Skywalker, Tyreek is on another level. We got some weightlifters in here, baby.
We welcome you back. National Signing Day show continues for Texas A&M here in the south end zone of Kyle. We've got Collin Klein with us, the Aggies offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He's got a big one to talk about, but before we get there, Coach, I wanted to ask you just kind of about the season. I mean, you guys go 11-1, good stuff offensively. Season continues into the college football playoff coming up, but when you hit the end of the regular season and you're ready for the postseason, it's almost those checkpoints, maybe time for assessments. Your thoughts about the Aggies offensively now that we close the regular season, head into the all-important time, that postseason?
Absolutely. I think for starters, it's have been so proud of the unit collectively. I think the times that we needed a position or a certain player to step up and make huge plays for us, they did that. I think you saw the group kind of grow through the year as well and showed steady improvement across the board as the season went, which is very important through the course of the year. Those teams that are playing better at the end than the beginning, that's always a good thing, right? I think we were able to take some really, really big strides from an explosiveness standpoint. Being able to push the ball down the field, create explosive plays in some of the screen game, the run game. We're a much more explosive outfit than we were last year. So that was really, really positive. I thought we really ran the football better too down the stretch of the season, and our O-line was able to really assert themselves, down the stretch there. So really proud of the group and how they came together through it.
All right, that's the present. Why do we now look to the future? Because you've got a quarterback in this class, and you certainly have a good one. Corner Canyon High School in Utah. Helaman Kasuga, top 300 player nationally according to ESPN. And I know we talked to you on this show last year, and you mentioned you like winners. Well, Helaman just completed back-to-back state championships with Corner Canyon up there in Utah.
Well, just like you said, he's a competitor. He's a winner. He's a team-first guy. I mean, whatever his team needed him to do, made unbelievable plays with his arm and in the passing game. He is very, very naturally accurate, really, really quiet head and shoulders, quick release, is able to fit the ball into really, really tight windows with good anticipation. And then when it's time to, or if he needs to use his legs, he's a really, really good athlete, strong lower body, and is able to make teams pay with his legs as well. So the sky's the limit for this young man, and unbelievable man of faith and integrity, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I love what he did in the playoffs. He had a 2-game stretch in the state quarters and semis where he completed 47 of 54. That's 87%.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, for almost 660 yards and 7 TDs. Yeah, that is certainly good stuff. And like we said, Helaman just led Corner Canyon to back-to-back state titles. I went present, future there with Helaman. I want to come back to the present just for a bit because you had a magnificent year from your quarterback and Marcel Reed. And when you think of what he did, quarterbacks like Helaman coming to A&M, is that kind of the blueprint of how you want guys to handle themselves the way Marcel Reed did this season?
Absolutely. And I think you look at Marcel's body of work, I think the way he was able to lead us in critical times through the course of the season. You saw his command grow through the course of the season. Was just so proud of him. Being down at Notre Dame in a game-winning drive, being down in the, after the first half at South Carolina, and I don't know if anyone really understands the level of competitor intestinal fortitude that you have to go out there and make decisions over and over and over again in those type of environments when it's all on the line. And for him to be able to do that, his command of the offense and understanding of what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish is really deep into credit to him and his work. And we have a lot of fun too, you know, and that's the great part, whether it's at practice and joking around with each other or, you know, he still says his jumper's the best on the team, but I don't know. We may have to test that. We just have a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of basketball talk on the show today because a lot of guys, they like to get out there on the court. But I always appreciate your time. Great day for you and the Aggies. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
All right, Collin Klein, our OC, with us right here on the National Signing Day show. When we come back, we go over to special teams, and their coordinator, Pat Dougherty, will join us. All right, we're back, and we talked offense already. Coming up, defense, so that's perfect. Right in the middle, we discuss special teams, and for it, we have our coordinator in Pat Dougherty, and he's got a couple specialists that he will discuss as far as this Texas A&M 2026 class. But always a nice day for you guys. I always feel like some congratulations are in order just to get to this point, get these guys signing that dotted line.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of hard work by a lot of people, and a lot of people that behind the scenes that do an unbelievable job, from, you know, Derek Miller and Kianna, who I know you just had on, but just they do an unbelievable job, and then it takes obviously the whole football staff to put this whole thing together. So it's a great day.
All right, and you have to address the kicking game in any signing class, and that's why there's a couple here that you will discuss with us, and we're going to start in Shreveport, Louisiana, Byrd High School. That's where you'll get the place kicker from. We welcome Asher Murray to Texas A&M. Your thoughts on Asher?
Yeah, Asher's, you know, really, he's a special prospect. You know, he's a guy that, you know, nowadays you're really looking for, you know, guys that can not only be place kickers but add value in other ways. And you know, he's got a real big leg that adds value immediately from a kickoff standpoint. You know, I think it's evidence in his stats and some of the things he's done from a kickoff standpoint in high school. And then, going 6 of 7 on his career from 50 plus is hard to do in high school. The snappers, the holders aren't nearly as clean and consistent. So, having the level of consistency from a long distance that he's been able to have in a high school career is really impressive.
Yeah, and a lot of touchbacks too, like you mentioned, with the strong leg, and that's obviously valuable in today's age. You mentioned the kicks from 50 plus, had a 56-yarder in high school, and I know maybe one of the starting places you look at is one of those strong legs from a kid.
Yeah, I think now you see it in the NFL with just what's happened in the kicking game in the NFL with these guys making 60-yard field goals like it's routine. It's not to that point yet in college, but it's definitely becoming more common to see these guys be more accurate and consistent from deeper range, and we definitely think Asher adds that. He's a unbelievable kid. He's got a great family. Comes from a family with 2 brothers that kicked or one that still is, and one that kicked at the collegiate level, and so he knows the ins and outs and what it takes to be successful at this level, and we couldn't be more excited to get him here and make him an Aggie. All
right, and you need a strong leg punter as well, and you got this one from Montgomery, Texas. Didn't have to go that far to Montgomery to go get Waylon Peters. Your thoughts on him, Coach?
Yeah, Waylon is what you look for in a stereotypical punter, in that he's a big, tall, long guy that really long levers that doesn't really have to put a lot. It looks easy to punt the ball far with really good hang time. He's one of those guys that. There's lots of guys that can kick the ball far or punt the ball far, but he has the ability to do it with elite hang time, and he's only getting better. I think he's got a really bright future as a punter in this league.
Yeah, hang time always key. You got to punt a coverable ball.
Correct.
Kind of like Tyler White.
Correct.
I feel like he does. But Coach, big day for you and the Aggies. Always appreciate the time, and I know these 2 specialists will be key in what Texas A&M does in its future. But appreciate you, appreciate the staff, and best of luck. Obviously, we got the college football playoff coming up, so this 2025 version of the Aggies is not finished.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the class. Best of luck moving forward.
Thank
Coach.
you.
All right, Pat Dougherty, our special teams coordinator right here on the National Signing Day show. When we come back, we switch it over to the defensive side of the ball. We will discuss the D-line.
They're referred to as the wild dogs, and they howl for one another when an individual fetches success. It goes much deeper and has far more meaning than just being unleashed.
You always think about the lion being a dominant animal in the jungle, but really in Africa, the wild dog's the most efficient. The hunting rate is somewhere between 85 and 90%. So if you equate that into football, the mentality that I play for the guy next to me, that what it means to me to hunt for the guy next to me is more important than myself. And that's what we want to have with the buy-in, like that they fight for each other.
It's an African wild dog type of thing that we've talked to the guys about in terms of being a pack, being together. You might not be the biggest, you might not be the strongest, but together as a group, we can take down the biggest lion, the biggest buffalo, whatever it is.
We all together as one. We a pack of wild dogs. You know what I'm saying? A pack of wild dogs will be able to get on the lion. Like, you feel me? It's just competitive endurance. Every next man up mentality. Everybody giving 100% effort.
The wild dogs, the dog from the back, when the dog in the front gets tired, he comes in and, he takes his place so the dog in the front can go back to the back and he can rest. And I think that's like a big thing and what kind of we live by is like, when one guy gets tired, the next guy's up and he's ready to go.
Having that dog mentality, and ever since then, like our first game, he taught me to chant. Usually I used to be a quiet dude. I mean, I'm quiet sometimes, but he brought me into it. He wanted me to do the chant. And ever since then, ever since I said that chant, it's just been like a click to everybody, just having that mindset.
What's the chant you want to hit?
It's like, I'm a dog, I'm a villain, competition, I'm a killer.
Let's go, right? I'm a dog! I'm a dog! I'm a villain! I'm a villain! Competition! I'm a killer! I'm a killer! I'm a dog! I'm a dog! I'm a villain! I'm a villain! Competition! I'm a killer!
We welcome you back, and now we go to the defensive side of the football, and we start up front. Sean Spencer, Tony Jerod-Eddie with us, our D-line coaches. A couple of wild dogs here. I mean, you just saw. Well, I feel like Ryland Kennedy should open this segment with the chant.
He stays ready.
That's right. But plenty to talk about on the defensive front here with this 2026 signing class, and we're going to jump right into it because some really good ones that are going to help the Aggies here in the future. We will start in Columbus, Georgia at Carver High School. And guys, that's where you went and got Tristan Givens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, just a dynamic athlete. You know, the guy played wide receiver. When we first started recruiting him, we have a guy on staff named James Gibson that was a coach on his staff as a high school coach back in the day, and he joined our staff. He played for Jay Bateman and helped us do a tremendous job with the kid. You know, just an athlete that's just an ascending talent. You know, he just keeps growing. He gets bigger and bigger every day. You know, we're so excited about him.
Yeah, his best football is for sure ahead of him, and can't wait to get him in College Station and work and mold this. He's a mold of clay right now, and his ceiling is super high. So excited about the future for Tristan.
Yeah, one thing we're doing with a lot of these guys, and we love doing it, is you said best football's ahead of him, Tony. He's hoping some really good football's on his way Friday night because Carver, they are still in the Georgia State playoffs. They're in the semifinals, and again, they play Friday with a trip to the state championship game on the line. But a little more on Tristan. 80 tackles this year. 25 of those went for lost yardage. I know you guys got to love a guy that can live in the opponent's backfield.
Yeah, whenever you get a guy that can make game-changing plays, that he can make plays in the backfield, whether it's a sack, whether it's a TFL, and hold the point of attack. I mean, it's really exciting, because part of playing defensive line is not only to rush the quarterback, but to affect the run game.
We want to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So TFLs, sacks, what we're looking for.
No doubt. Let's go to New Jersey now. Like we've been saying, this recruiting class is all over the country. Oradell, New Jersey, and Bergen Catholic High School is where you guys get Jermaine Kinsler from.
Yeah, 6'7" something. I mean, he's a big dude, man. And it's crazy because I had a prior relationship with him when I was at another university. He's actually originally from Florida. We got a chance, myself and Coach Tony got a chance to meet him several times in the recruiting process and just watch his skill set, on the basketball court in workouts and things like that. And we just said, man, this guy's got an upside that's unbelievable.
Big human beings that can move the way he can move, right? Like you can't substitute for guys with size and athletic ability. And so, again, excited about him, and his best football is ahead of him as well.
Yeah, he's an ESPN top 300 player in America. Same could be said for who we just talked about a moment ago, Tristan Givens. Jermaine Kinsler has won a state title with Bergen Catholic up there in New Jersey. So you're talking about some guys that know how to play winning football. Go across the country now. We've gone to Georgia to get a defensive lineman, New Jersey. Now we're going all the way across country to Lawndale, California, and Lusinger High School. And it's another ESPN top 300 guy in Samu Moala.
Yeah, so Samu is a guy that, as soon as Elko came in, we watched everybody in the country, and he was one of the guys that stuck out to us. And he was a kid that we said, in California, some people may ask why you go all the way to California, where California doesn't have an SEC school, And so to some of those kids, that's important to them to play in this conference. And so, right away, him and his family made that very apparent that that's what he wanted to do. And so we went full steam ahead and excited about this guy. He played off the ball linebacker, so has a really good skill set, a really athletic kid. This is his first year putting his hand in the ground full time, and he's wreaked havoc all year. I was able to go see him play during the bye week, and had a really good game. And just again another mold of clay that can't wait to get our hands on him and help develop him into the player that he'll eventually be.
When we watched him first, there was a lot of similarities to one Marco Jones, right? Like played off the ball, did things in space, and then he actually transitioned, like Tony said, when he put his hand down. you know, you start seeing it, and every day he was sending us video of what do I need to work on to get better so I can reach this potential at that position. And when you talk about a tremendous family, you talk about close-knit family, I mean, the bond is unbelievable, and his loyalty's been superior throughout this recruiting process.
All right, let's go full circle with the defensive line because we're going back to Georgia, to Buford, ranked as the number 54 player in the country, by ESPN. He's got 93 tackles this year. 16 of those are for lost yardage. Bryce Perry Wright, guys.
Yeah, so, you know, this has been a long time coming for Bryce. I've been recruiting Bryce, seems like forever, for about 3.5 years. And, you know, he's been, you know, regarded as, you know, 5-star, you know, number 1 and number 2 D lineman in the country since he was about in the 8th or 9th grade. And, you know, the thing that you like about Bryce is, yes, he's physical, he plays the game the right way, but the thing that you love about him is he never let his status or his recruiting process get him, you know, too big for his britches. And he's always looking to get better and always looking to work. I talked to him last night, and he's like, "Hey, Coach, when I sign, when can I start meeting with you and you know, meeting with Coach Spence and you know, start looking at the installs?" And I'm like, you know, when the kid is asking you those kind of questions, at where we at in the process, you know, you got the right one. And want to shout out Andrew Bather for helping us. He's been helping with this recruiting process since day one. So he did a great job helping us get this kid.
I mean, when you talk about a football player, you talk about molding like the football player, the prototype, and this is one of those type of guys. Like, built the right way, from not only from a maturity standpoint, but from like ruggedness, toughness, but like all the intangibles. When you sit down and talk to him, it's like you're talking to a 3 to 4 year pro in the NFL. I mean, this guy is polished. You know, obviously we got work to do with everything, but I mean, when you're talking about putting together a football player that's like the combination of intelligence, football intelligence, off the field intelligence, this is the guy.
Bryce, he and Buford, they're 13-0. They'll play in the Georgia 6A semifinals this week. Quickly before both you guys, though, go, I just wanted to bring this up because Aggies will play in the college football playoff here. We'll know the assignment on Sunday. And the defensive line has been so instrumental in that. We know the high sack rate, the tackles for loss. Cassius Howell, finalist for the Lombardi and the Gursky Awards already. Just for both of you, before you go, just how proud are you of that group, that 2025 group, and what they've kind of led the Aggies to this year?
Yeah, I think that they've embraced the culture that we've tried to create in the room. You know, it's one thing to like try to set it forth, and then it's another thing for them to embrace it. And we feel like they've embraced the culture, and you know, it's really, really exciting to see where we can go from here. You know, and then speaking about Cassius in particular, and you talk about a guy that took a chance to move himself up from Bowling Green to come here and took a shot, and he was behind 2 NFL players, and he just stayed the course and kept working. And everything that you're seeing now is everything that he had, the intangibles a year ago, and now it's coming into fruition on the field.
Yeah, and you know, coming into the season, one of the biggest questions coming in was, you know, what was the D-line going to be like? We lost, you know, 3 guys that were very talented, you know, first and 2 second-rounders, and that was the biggest question. And, you know, the guys that were in that room, you know, kind of took that to heart. Like, you know, we know what we got in this room, and so, you know, they made it a point that we gonna show everybody, don't worry about us. And I think, you know, people would be pleased with what them guys, you know, have done up to this point, and look forward to coaching those guys to see if we can go get that natty.
That's right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sean Spencer, Tony Jerod-Eddie from the front end to back end. We go to the secondary on the other side of the break, and Jordan Peterson will sit down with us. Welcome back. We're in the south end zone of Kyle Field, and we're discussing Texas A&M football's 2026 class, one of the best in the country. And the secondary is where you're going to find some really good ones. And we're going to talk with DB's coach Jordan Peterson about some of those guys. But I had to start here when Coach Spencer left. He said, tell JP if he just gives us 3 seconds, we're going to get home every time. I would think you agree.
I hold him to it all the time. I mean, that's what they say, and it's actually come to fruition. So we can play with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah. Good complimentary football from
For
the back
sure.
and the front end this year. But you've got a couple, and I mean incredibly talented individuals. They're coming to your room here at Texas A&M, and we'll discuss them right now. And we'll start in Spring Valley, California, Mount Miguel High School. This is a guy we mentioned at the open of the show, listed as an athlete, and ESPN calls him basically the #1 athlete in the entire country. You guys have him on the list as a DB, but Brandon Arrington, an incredible talent coming from the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, you watch his tape. Like, obviously, he's a track guy as well. He's a 10-2, like elite sprinter. He's got great length. Obviously, the speed aspect of things. You see him return. You see him play some receiver. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's very explosive. But all of those things combined make for a very, very talented and elite prospect coming as a corner for us. So we're really excited about him. He's been here many, many times. He's gotten to see games and see the environment here at Kyle Field, and we're fired up to have him part of this class.
Yeah, you said it with a sprinter. I mean, could you almost turn the tape on watching him run track even before you see the football and say, man, this is a guy that I think we could pinpoint for our secondary?
Well, there's no doubt that he possesses the speed, but as you know, and that doesn't always translate to the field from a football standpoint. And as you watch his tape, you can see for his length, for his top end speed, his hip mobility, his ability to change directions. Obviously, the acceleration aspect of it plays into it too, but you see how all of those pieces work together for him on the turf. And so, like I said, we're really excited about what he can bring to us here coming in January.
Yeah, and at Mount Miguel, he kind of did it on both sides of the ball, put up big numbers as a wide receiver as well. So the versatility, and that's why Brandon Arrington is flat out maybe the best athlete in the entire country in this recruiting class. But he's not the only good one, because you went to Toledo, Ohio to get another one. Central Catholic High School. ESPN ranks Vic Singleton as almost one of the best 50 players in the entire country on their list. But Vic, obviously a welcome addition into your room, Jordan.
Yeah, the first thing when you talk about Vic is he's a winner. He's a 2-time state champion in long jump. He's a 2-time state champion in football, going for their 3rd this week. Like, you're talking about a guy that is freaking really, really used to a winning culture. And you combine that with this tape, which again, the versatility of what he does, return-wise, on offense, on defense as a corner. He's got great body control. You see him make some circus-type catches as a DB when you don't always are seeing the ball being thrown. And some of those natural instincts thing really stands out to you on his tape.
Yeah, like you said, Vic, going for another state title, Division III state championship there with Central Catholic. And I love this. You almost get like a little playoff rivalry up there, because Vic, it's the 3rd straight year that they'll play Columbus Watterson for the state title. I mean, those two are butting heads year in and year out for that state title. But good luck to Vic on trying to get it.
Yeah, for sure. We're excited about watching him play.
Yeah, I know you'll be tuned in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As always, man, we appreciate your time. Great class right here. Great class to all of you. Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Jordan Peterson in the Aggie secondary. We'll continue to discuss the defense, but we'll take a little break from that in just a moment. We will sit down with our recruiting general manager, Derek Miller, on the other side of the break.
My name is Darius Dunaway. My title is Director of Character and Culture. I thought I was going to be a teacher. I got my degree in education. And then God kind of put it on my heart to go in this direction. And I worked at my university, Arkansas State, where I came from. I have built a relationship with Coach Troop, because Coach Trooper Taylor came to our university. Through that relationship, it opened up some doors here. And that's how I landed here. What I'm doing now is getting to hear these guys' stories. So right now I'm asking guys to just, hey, tell me about your journey. How did you get here? Tell me about your family. All right, tell me when you fell in love with the game of football. All right, what do you want out of this? So right now I'm doing a lot of learning before I can do any planning, and that's the process we're going through right now. Success in my role looks like a player who's graduated from A&M, who becomes a phenomenal father, phenomenal husband one day, and a leader among men. First off, the whole 12th man concept. Start hearing guys talking about this. Again, I met Nana, who is the current 12th man, and I got to hear his story. And I asked him, what does it mean to be the 12th man? And I can just see from him sharing his story with me, the joy and the pride that came with being 12th man. And then the resources here are outrageous. Everybody I've seen, from recruiting coordinators from coaches, from the head coach, Coach Elko, all the way down, have been amazing.
We welcome you back, and now joining us at the desk is our recruiting general manager, Derek Miller, here at Texas A&M. A lengthy process just to get to this day, and as you know, we're talking to some of those in our recruiting office just about this process, about getting here today. And have you been able to just catch your breath today at all, or has it just been a whirlwind since you got up?
Yeah, I think it's excitement more than anything. You know, it's not as much relief. I think it's a full circle moment for all these guys and their families to be here and to officially be Aggies. So that adrenaline is running pretty early in the morning, you know, when we have some of these guys signing at 7 a.m. their time on the East Coast. But overall, the day is excitement for our staff to see the relationships come to fruition, to see the recruiting process, you know, start to, you know, really conclude. And now we can get them here and start building what we all talked about building together, this recruiting class and our coaching staff, and what we want this program to be.
Mm-hmm. And just the process that I talk about, what is your best description of this process from the day you contact a young man to getting them to sign that dotted line on a morning like this one?
Yeah, it really is foundationally all about identification and evaluation. And looking back at this class, every single one that we signed today, we went to in the contact period last January, when the coaches could go out and really start hammering away at this class. So, you know, with that, they were on our radar before. I think as you look at some of the recruiting rankings, you see guys that we saw traits, we saw length, speed, athleticism. We really value, you know, these multi-sport athletes. And so you saw the recruiting services start to follow trend, but we really trust our own eyes in this whole process and try to, you know, really get a board set of who we need to go see and who we need to start, you know, building in this class.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned evaluation. That's so much a part of everything.
Yeah.
Now, just what is that channels of evaluation that it goes through for you all to determine over there in the Bright Slocum complex, all right, this is a guy we want to be an Aggie?
Yeah. You have a huge pool of players, and you know they come to you in different avenues. Sometimes it's, you know, another school offers them, and you have to say, hey, he was on our radar, let's take another look. Hey, you know, this is a guy that was at camp as a really young player, and so you've really started to, you know, track him through his career. But, you know, more often than not, you're just continually revisiting the film. It's whether it's the sophomore year, the junior year, you get live exposures. You know, there's some of these other combines and camps out there. I think you try to use every piece of information, whether it's service, video, to try to build the full picture of what a player is going to be. And then when you can really start to get out and recruit this class, that's when those relationships form. That's how you picture them in our culture, picture them being players in a Coach Elko program. And so it starts pretty early on, but you have to constantly be revisiting the film because the evaluation process is constant.
Yeah, and then the getting to know the individual, because culture is a big word also in this process. It's a big word in college football now. You can evaluate the talent. You can decide that they're good enough to play for A&M, but you also need guys to fit Coach Elko, what he wants to do, and the way they conduct themselves in this program too. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that so much of this process is them figuring out what school is best for them. We're figuring out if this player projects to have to be the caliber of an SEC player, to be a caliber that can go to play in the NFL, and they're figuring out, is this a program that I can achieve my best? And I think as families and players visit around and they say, yep, I can picture myself here day in, day out, climbing to be the best version of me every day, and to do it, as a group. I think we look at our team this year and the bonds and the unity that we have on our own roster that has been, a historically good team this year for A&M. You try to just see that same thing come out in the recruiting process. So they're picking us as much as we're selecting them throughout all of this.
And then just overall, today, are you simply thrilled with the way this class worked out and getting it all complete? Is it been everything you wanted from this class, this 2026 group that'll come to A&M?
I'd say very pleased with how we are in this class. Like I said, they're players that we have targeted and been on for a long time, and that we emphasized making sure that they were players that knew they were a priority for us. And they all felt that, I think, in the recruiting process. And as the momentum continued to build in this class, they bonded together. They bonded with the current players on our team, bonded with the coaches. And so, when you look at it, we always want to be a team that uses, a little bit of the analytics and the height, weight, speed, and the multi-sport athletes, and guys that are going to project to get in the weight room here with the great strength staff, and continue this trajectory of being a really, really productive high school player to a guy that can step on the field for an SEC program and go compete for championships. I think this class certainly fits that mold as much as any that I've been a part of.
All right, Derek, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on getting these guys to Aggie Land.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Derek Miller, our recruiting GM. When we come back to the defensive side of the football, we'll talk nickels with Bryant Gross-Armiento.
Good morning, sweetie. How you doing? Enjoy your meal.
Welcome back, and we're heading back to the secondary as we return here on A&M's NSD show. And we've got Bryant Gross-Armiento with us, who handles the nickels. And before we talk about your guy, we had Jordan on coming up after you, Ish Aristide. Just so much in the secondary in this class, and you need that. You need high numbers in that back end, don't you?
Yeah, for sure, you do. I mean, a good secondary, can do a lot for a defense. And, as a defense, the secondary can put limitations on you as a defense, or it can help you as a defense. So I think we got some of the best defensive backs coming in. Credit to, Ish and JP and myself and the staff. And, it's all start from the bottom up. I think all hands on deck when it comes to getting these kids. And I think we did a good job with this class.
All right, let's discuss your guy, because he's coming to you from Goodyear, Arizona. Desert Edge High School. Cameron Hamil, he's a top 100 player in the country, according to ESPN. And I know you got to be thrilled about getting him in the room.
Yeah, very, very excited. I think, he does a lot on the field. He could do a lot on the field for us. He got all the traits that we were looking for in that position. I think he got fast twitch. He's a very physical player. Love the game of football. I think that's one of the biggest traits, and it's hard to find right now in these high school kids. But the way he plays the game is exactly what we want in our secondary in all three phases, at nickel, corner, and safety. He could do it all for us. I'm excited what he can do at that nickel position.
Yeah, and do you get excited looking just statistically here? 15 and a half tackles for loss as a DB, and that's something you guys do with this defense. Just do you get excited about him when you kind of hear those numbers, what he put up this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy that's always around the ball, you know, and I think there's one ball, and if you can get a guy that's always around the ball, that's a key. You know, and that's one of the key factors we look for, whether it's tackles for loss, whether it's INTs, PBUs, right? But whenever you see Cam, you know the ball's around. And that's something we look for, and that's what we wanted in him.
Yeah, they did, because this secondary, I mean, it's so active. It's not just pass coverage here at A&M.
Yeah, no, I mean, it can't be pass coverage. We're going to be multiple on defense. We're going to ask these guys to do multiple things, cover, blitz, hit. Everything you could think of that a DB can do, we're going to ask this kid to do, and all our kids do. And he could do that. You know, I'm excited about this one. I think the staff's excited about this one. I can't wait to get him here.
All right, BJ, we appreciate you. Congratulations on getting Cameron.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
We stay in the secondary. When we come back, we'll visit with DB's coach, Ish Aristide. We welcome you back, and we are discussing the defense here on our National Signing Day show. We return to the south end zone of Kyle Field. We got DB's coach Ish Aristide with us, and like we've been talking about, high numbers in the secondary, and you have to have that. I mean, you guys get a lot of people out there, and I know you're excited about two of them that you're going to add to your room.
Absolutely. Two really talented young men. That would be great for our culture, great for the secondary. They both have prototype attributes, and we're really excited about them.
All right, well, let's get to them. And we're going just right up the road to Arlington, Texas to find the first one. And at Mansfield Timberview High School is where Chase Collins went. Your thoughts, Ish, on Chance Collins. Chance, your thoughts on him, Ish?
I love Chance. You know, Chance is the cousin of Edrin Cooper, who played here. And so he has those same qualities of speed, and he runs around and he flies around. He's highly productive. I really, really love Chance. I think he's going to be a good player for us, and he's got a lot of room to grow, and he's somebody we're really excited about.
And you think of versatility with your guys. They got to be obviously athletic, and then Chance helped out on offense. He did have 42 tackles on defense, but on offense he caught 5 touchdown passes. Do you like when you get a guy that's kind of done a lot, maybe played more than just on that back end?
Absolutely. You love having guys that can play on both sides of the ball. And you see his ball skills, they jump out on tape, and you need that at safety. And you see him do a lot of different things on offense. They'll hand him the ball, they'll throw him the ball. He threw a trick play. You know, all of those things to be productive in high school really, really add value when you get to college, because that lets us know we can do a lot of different things with you.
So Chance Collins from Arlington, Texas, Mansfield Timberview High School. He is one of the DBs that joins this class of 2026 here at Texas A&M. And then you leave the state to go get your next one. Tylen Wilson is from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Top 300 player nationally, according to ESPN. And you look at some of the numbers and you think of 10 pass breakups and 2 interceptions this season. Really good in coverage, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really, really good in coverage. And one of the first things that jumped out on tape when you watch him on tape is he's extremely physical. You know, his tape looks a little bit like Marcus Ratcliffe, right? Plays in the box some. He's really good in pass coverage, but his physicality jumps out on tape. And, you know, he was productive in all years in high school, and he also plays on both sides of the ball. He's another young man we're really excited about.
Yeah, I think a chance in Thailand and what they'll be asked to do here. We just talked to BGA about it, but I think we need to discuss it with you because it can't be stated enough just how active and how much your guys in the secondary have to do. I mean, we talked to Marcus Ratcliffe before the year, and just everything that a DB in this defense has to do. You got to be cerebral. You got to know the game. You're involved in so much when you play in the defensive backfield here at A&M.
Yeah, absolutely. For one, you have to love playing football, because if you love playing football, you will put in the extra work to learn all the different positions. You'll put in the extra work to do all the different things we're going to ask you to do. And so you have to attract overachievers to your program. We want to fill our culture with a bunch of young men that are overachievers, and we think we have that with these two guys. And what we do with our safeties is we put them in a lot of different positions. They play nickel sometimes, they play dime, and you saw that back in the day when we had Antonio Johnson. And so you have to have guys who have that skill set that can do a multitude of things.
All right, we appreciate your time, Ish. Great stuff getting these two guys in. Congratulations to you and the Aggies on the class.
Absolutely, I appreciate you as well.
All right, Ish Aristide right here on our National Signing Day show. We come back with defensive coordinator Jay Bateman. Well, you just saw all the Aggie defensive signees on the video board here at Kyle Field, and right under it in the south end, Will Johnson back with you. And we're going to discuss defense with our coordinator, Jay Bateman. He's also going to look at the 4 linebackers who signed in this 2026 class, a really good haul at that position. But, Coach, thanks for joining us, first of all. Congratulations to you and the Aggies on this class.
Thanks. We're excited about these kids.
Yeah, a lot to be excited about. So just before we get to these linebackers, the defensive overview as a whole, what do you think you added to that room with this 2026 signing class?
Yeah, I think, going in, we knew corner was going to be really important. I think Jordan did a great job with Brandon and Vic, 2 kids with I think are elite players. I think 2 of the better players in the country. The number 1 player in the state of Ohio, number 1 player in the state of California. So I think anytime you get those two kids, with their, especially with their measurables, right? Two really long, fast kids. I think it was good. And then I think the other position we really felt like we needed to really hit was defensive end. And I think Bryce is one of the best players in the country. Tristan is an absolute freak. Like, could do a lot of things. I think he's perfect for our jack position, that kind of hybrid edge outside backer position. And then Samu was a kid that committed to us a year ago. We were able to hold off some suitors there for a long time. But and then I think the linebackers, I think is a really good class. And I think the two safeties. The last kid I went and worked out, watched practice. In the spring. Tyler Wilson, I think, is a dynamite player, and Chance has been a guy we've had our eyes on for a long time. So I think we feel really good about this class.
Yeah, a lot of good additions, and you have 4 of them in that linebacker room that we will go through. And we're going to start in Carthage, Texas. Quebec, he's on ESPN's top 300 as one of the best players in the entire country, and he's had over 300 tackles the last 3 seasons. Coach, your thoughts on Quee?
Yeah, one of the better players in the state of Texas on defense this class. I think Carthage, a really good program. Him and KJ, we felt like it was really, 2 of the better players, kind of a package deal there, and I think going to be a really good player for the Aggies.
Yeah, you mentioned Carthage, and we talked about it earlier with KJ Edwards because they were teammates, offensive and defensive side of the ball. Proud program. We're updating anyone who's still in the playoffs, and it is the 4A Division II Regional Finals on Friday in Tyler. Carthage, who's 13-0. They will take on Athens as they look for another state title. And one thing about guys that win, that advance in the playoffs is, I don't know how much it means, but is there some attraction to a guy that comes from a program like Carthage, and that he's got a little winning DNA in it?
No, I think a young man that comes from, I got to go up there a couple times and watch him. You see how they practice, you see how they work out in the weight room, you see the attention to detail in the program, and those guys just have a step ahead, and you feel really good. State of Texas, there's a lot of great high school programs, so you feel really good about signing a kid who's had that kind of high school experience when you get him here. You feel like they're a little bit further ahead than maybe some other kids.
So good luck to Quee, good luck to KJ as they continue on
for sure
in the Texas high school playoffs. I tell you who's else still in the Texas high school playoffs with Port Arthur Memorial. It's Tank King. One of the things I noticed when we were looking up Tank, 456 career tackles, which set the school record there at Port Arthur Memorial, and I had to look back at it. I thought maybe 456 career tackles was borderline a misprint. That's like Dat Win stuff here at Texas A&M.
Yeah. Well, if he turns it like Dat Win, we'll be pretty happy. But look, I think Tank's a kid we've had our eyes on ever since we got here. I think he's had a dynamite senior year. You watch his senior film, you'll see a hit right here, and you just see he plays all over. He does a lot, which I think is important. There's a physical nature of him. He's an explosive, and just from the day I met him, I just felt so strongly about him and his family. As a kid that we needed in our program, and Port Arthur's obviously had a lot of great players. You go in that weight room, there's a list of all these NFL players, and so. I think I thought he was one of the best players in the state of Texas on defense in this class, if not the best. And I just think he's adding him to our haul. I think has been really good, and a kid that was recruited really, really hard by the best programs in our country.
Yeah, and Tank and PA Memorial, they are 13-0. They're in the 5A Division I Regional Finals against Barbers Hill on Saturday. That's going to be in Beaumont. You may tune into that.
I will. Yeah. So they beat them earlier in the year. So hopefully no pressure, but Tank's got to get it done again.
That's right. Going to Ohio for your next linebacker, a fantastic player this year, 110 tackles, and 24 of those were for lost yardage. From Strongsville, it is Storm Miller. Your thoughts on Storm?
Yeah, just a dynamite player. One of the best players in the state of Ohio, a kid who could have gone anywhere. His brother played over 2,000 snaps at Clemson as an offensive tackle, so football runs in the family. As a sophomore, junior, he played on the edge more. You'll see some of his highlights. He's on the edge. They still did him, played him in that position a little bit this year, but kind of knew size-wise he was going to be an off-the-ball backer. Worked really hard at it, and I just think a really big, fast, athletic kid who loves football. And I think a kid named Storm from Strongsville, Ohio, I think it's hard to pass on those kids. But just a dynamite player, man. I think he's going to come here, and I think he's going to impact our team really quickly.
I thought the same thing. From Strongsville, named Storm, but getting guys from Ohio, some from Jersey, just there's a physical nature that comes from those guys.
Yeah, I think it shows the appeal of playing in this conference, and I think the appeal of Texas A&M. So you're a kid who's being recruited by everybody in the country, and like, why Texas A&M? Well, I think the chance to play in the SEC and go to the school, the power of this place, I think is important. And Storm, I remember when he went to commit, it was kind of like, for real? Like, I mean, it was. A kid could go anywhere, and just like came here and fell in love with the place, and I'm so excited to have him joining us. I think he's going to be dynamite.
All right, one more linebacker to discuss with Coach Bateman, and we're going to Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Northwestern High School to find Tamarian Watkins, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I give Derek Miller a lot of credit. Derek Miller showed me, T. Watt's film, about 16 months ago. And, it was kind of like, is he really 6'4"? You're watching this film, and just a dynamite player. Rock Hill, South Carolina, Football America, all the great players there. Again, another kid, he's playing for a state title this weekend. He won a state title last year. Both his brothers won state titles. So I think just a family of winners, and just a really, really talented kid. And I don't know what all the rankings say, but the best teams in our country were still recruiting him up until last night. So I think just a kid who's got just oozes ability. I love him as a kid. I think, one thing I learned a long time ago, right, if you really love them and you really feel strong about a kid and he feels strong about you, he's usually going to work out pretty good. And we target him early. He's a very different player. Plays safety a lot in high school. He's a 6'4", 205, 210-pound long, going to be really big, who can play in space. And I couldn't be more excited. I think dynamite family, awesome mom and dad, and just an awesome kid.
Yeah, you talked about it. He does play for a state title in South Carolina on Friday. And you mentioned play some safety. Just when you think of guys that you want to come, be in your room, play on this defense, play as a linebacker, would active be a good word? I mean, do you want to turn that tape on and see guys just all over the field?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think number one, you don't want them to all be exactly the same. So T. Watt brings a little bit different skill set than maybe Tank does. And so I think we felt like in this class we really wanted to get a kid who could play in space. Do some of the things Noah does, do some of the things Scooby does. And I think T. Watt fits that bill. I think we were looking for that big safety space player, which is what he is. And I just. You watch his film. I mean, he does everything. He's playing in the post. He's playing man to man on a slot. Like, he does all these things, and then he's playing linebacker and just a really unique player. And I think a kid that Mike and I are really excited about. Like how he's going to impact our defense quickly.
And one more thing for you. This is the future that we're talking about right here, but the immediate future for the Aggies, your 2025 group. College football playoff is coming up. You guys will be in it. We'll know the bracket and the announcement, all that on Sunday. But it's a chance to leave the regular season, assess, look at things, and then look forward to the playoff. We've seen your defense play great so many times this year. Just what is your assessment of the Aggies 2025, the defensive side of the ball, as now you hit what you hope is a huge run toward a national title here?
I think we've played with more consistency. I think we've obviously done a really, really nice job on third downs. I think the pass rush has been really consistent. So I think when we're consistent in the run, when we're playing a light box and we're consistent in the run structures, we've been really hard to handle. And I think that's going to have to continue. And I think our young men are really excited. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be awesome to hopefully get a home game at Kyle Field. I think first time ever, that'll be awesome. And so I think we're ready to. We know it's a challenge. We know we've talked about. The last game and then these next few games, it's going to be a challenge. And so I think our kids are ready for the challenge.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing these guys join your program as well. But congratulations on the signing class,
Coach. Thanks. We're excited about these kids.
All right. Jay Bateman, our defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, right here on our National Signing Day show. When we come back, we close out the show with your head coach, Mike Elko. We welcome you back, and we close out at the top. We welcome Texas A&M's head coach Mike Elko to the desk, and we will finish up with him. So much to talk to him about. And first, thanks for the time. I know this is a very busy day.
Yeah, we got a few things going on these days, but no, it's great to be here. It's great to kind of celebrate the end of this recruiting cycle and what is a really great group of kids that are coming in to be Aggies.
I don't know if coaches get a lot of sighs of relief in your job, but when you complete a class on a day like this, does that afford you maybe one of them for a brief moment?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's, I would just say there's a moment of joy. I think, you come in today expecting a certain amount of signings to come in. When that last one comes in and things have gone the way you expected them to go, there's an exhale of joy that's like, okay, we put a bow on this thing, we finished this thing the way we wanted it to, and then you quickly turn your attention to what comes next. But you certainly get that moment where you really like to celebrate what happened today.
Yeah, and speaking of celebrating your people in the Bright Slocum building, two of them stopped by earlier today, Kianna Jasper, Derek Miller, and then there's so many that are involved in the process just to get you to a day like this.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think when you think about what recruiting is, what it's always been, but even more now today, we're trying to recruit everywhere in the state of Texas. We're trying to recruit at a national level as well. The amount of people that play a role in this thing is incredible. And so, Derek as the general manager who kind of oversees the scouting and seeing kids and the NIL part of this equation, and Kianna and her team who kind of oversee the hosting and getting kids on campus and connecting with families and making sure they feel welcome. It's a huge endeavor, and it's a huge part of why we have the success that we do recruiting.
Yeah, you said something there, national. Man, it really is. California, Utah, obviously you're going to hit the state of Texas really hard. You go over to the east, Florida, Georgia, your old home state of New Jersey, Ohio. I mean, it is so national now, and the organization of it all, it has to be incredible.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a logistical approach to how we go out and identify the right kids, how you then go out and visit them and evaluate them, and then how you get them to campus and recruit them and get them comfortable that this is the place they want to call home. And so, the further you go, the more it takes to get it done the right way. But I just think, we have to get what we believe is the best in the state of Texas. There's no doubt about that. That will never change. But I think you see this across the country now that recruiting has really expanded regions. I think NIL plays a role in that, and I think obviously the visibility of the Texas A&M football brand has elevated to a point where we can have conversations with a lot of kids in a lot of different areas of this country right now.
And when you look at these 2026 Aggies, this signing class that comes in, you hear the term needs at times thrown around in recruiting. Did you identify some of those with 2026? Do you feel good about how you hit them in this class?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you're trying to do is create balance in recruiting over a 2-year cycle. And so, for example, I think last year we were D-tackle heavy in what we signed on the defensive line. I think this year we were D-end heavy. Last year we were interior offensive line heavy. This year we got a couple tackles and only one interior offensive lineman. And I think the way you look at it from a youth and a development standpoint in your program is you're kind of trying to take a 2-year snapshot to make sure that you have the pieces and the components you need developing in your program at all times. And so I don't know that you necessarily look at it as, we've got an immediate need because Trey Zune is no longer starting on the offensive line, but I do think there's it's a very collaborated attack to say, okay, this is the youth, this is what we're developing. We got to make sure we're developing enough people at every position across the board so that the future Aggies are ready to go when their time is needed.
Mm-hmm. And if you hit some of the parts of this class, I think you always got to ask about the quarterback in Corner Canyon, Utah, where he's just coming off back-to-back state championships. How do you feel about Helaman Kasuga coming in to be an Aggie?
Yeah, I think it starts with winning. I think the first thing that probably catches your eye about him is IMG Academy goes out to Corner Canyon, Utah, and loses. And that's our quarterback leading the way in that game. And so you've got a kid that's extremely competitive, has won an awful lot of high school football games, which matters. Very accurate passer, came out here, committed to us very early in the process, stayed true to his commitment all the way through, never wavered, was a rock for this class. Comes from a phenomenal family and is kind of, when you talk about wanting that at the quarterback position, I think it's really, really important that's where it starts.
And then I think here at A&M, you've created an explosive play offense, if you think about what Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver and those guys have done this year. And then when you add this group of receivers, Aaron Gregory, Madden Williams, Mike Brown, and Jaden Warren, are they the guys to continue hitting the big ones for that Aggie offense?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you see a couple of things. I think, height was something we wanted to balance. Last year, we're really excited with Kelshawn Johnson and TK Norman and Jerome Miles, but it's two little guys, one big. I think in this class, we got a few more big guys that can play on the outside. Speed is something that continues to be really important. Jaden Warren's got elite track speed. He's a 100-meter kid. And then just the ability to run routes and catch the ball consistently. And so you look at Mike Brown and Madden Williams, and they're extremely competitive wide receivers who make a lot of challenging catches and have phenomenal hands. And so it's a really, really strong group.
Yeah, and it's the SEC. Can't win unless you have that good defensive line, and you really had an excellent one this year with what they did. And then I asked about those receivers being a continuation of what some guys did this year. Well, then you think of Tristan Givens, Jermaine Kinsler, Samu Mawala, and Bryce Perry Wright, really talented. Are they continuations of what was so good about your defensive line?
Yeah, and again, I think if you put it all together, because that's the bow I like to put together, and so you look at DJ Sanders, Landon Rink, and Chase Sims, who are sitting in our program right now developing, and now you add Jermaine Kinsler to that group on the inside, and then you add on the outside elite twitch rushers in Tristan Givens and Samu Mawala, and then a big physical twitchy edge in Bryce Perry Wright, who was as coveted as anybody in the country at that position. I just think you're adding the combination of a two deep on the defensive line that is going to be elite in the future for the Aggies.
And then I just think of recruiting today and how it's probably so much different than when you were doing this 10 years ago. We use different terms these days. Obviously, NIL, there's transfer portal now. You hear the term rev share. What is it that is discussed, the give and take with recruits today, that would be different than when you were maybe sitting in the living room or your office talking to a recruit 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, so much. I mean, it's a completely different landscape, obviously. I still at the heart of it believe this, though. I still at the heart of it believe relationships matter. I think that we're trying to run a program where we're bringing people into this program who want to be part of this program and want to develop in this program and want to be really successful for Texas A&M football and care about the people in the building. But there's some other components that go into it for sure. And so when you start talking NIL and rev share, I mean, those things are, I don't know that any coach 10 years ago would have thought that would be the landscape, but it is. And so it's great for the players. It's great that they're getting their cut of the pie and a piece of this thing. And, again, I'll make my standard pitch. It'd be nice if we had some standardization of rules, but, aside from that, I think everything's moving well.
But I think that's the thing with you and your staff. It feels like you guys, even in today's world, make sure it's not transactional. You have a plan for that player. They accept your plan, and it's a coming together of people for a common goal, regardless of what the world looks like.
No, and I think that's an organizational philosophy. It's how we want to do it with coaches. It's how we want to do it with people in the building. It's certainly how we want to do it with acquiring talent in the building. You want people that are in this together. You don't want hired mercenaries. Hired mercenaries don't make a great culture, don't make a great environment. And I think every aspect of the program, I think we try to function like that. And so there's obviously value that comes from money, and you need to provide people the value that they need to feel like you appreciate them and you appreciate who they are and what they do for this program. But there's a difference and there's a fine line, and we try to walk it the right way.
We've mentioned this to a lot of coaches, so we certainly need to get your take on it. This show And a lot of the talk today looks to the future. But there's an immediate future for the 2025 Aggies. You're going to play in the college football playoff. We know that. And the final assignment, all that comes Sunday when the field of 12 is selected. So we'll know more then. But we know you're going to be in it.
Yep.
Just the excitement to send a team to the college football playoff in your second year, and maybe your assessment of where your guys stand as now you head into that all-important run that you hope ends trying to go out and get a national title.
Yeah, we're where this program has always talked about being. You know, we've wanted to be on that big stage. We've talked a lot since I got here in 2018 about getting a seat at that big table, and you know, we've never been able to do it. And so to finally be able to accomplish it this year, and know that we've only done it in our second year, and we're still building and we're still growing, and we still know the future is even brighter than the present, I think is a really special accomplishment. And then in terms of where we're at, we want to go win a national championship. I mean, I think that's been the attitude in our locker room all year. I think we've quietly been confident that that's something that we could achieve. Now we're going to get a chance to get into the big dance and go see what we can do. And so we're excited for a home game at Kyle. We're excited for the opportunity, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you've gotten there because, like you guys have said, it's always been a team that's been focused on the right things this year, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've tried to focus on playing winning football. We've tried to focus on playing together. I think we've tried to stay in the moment as best we could. And you know, again, what that's led to is an 11-win regular season for the first time in a really long time around here. And so now we go on to the playoffs and have a chance to go see what we can get done.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch so far. We look forward to seeing more of it in that bracket, that 12-team bracket, and also going to be fun to watch these guys become Aggies, this 2026 class. We appreciate you and your staff for joining us today. It's been fun. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Appreciate it. It's a great day. It's a great day for Texas A&M football, and to all the people out there on signing day, enjoy the day. It's a special day for so many kids across the country.
All right. We'll see you in the playoff.
Yeah.
Get the assignment. We'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
All right. Mike Elko closes us out. This has been Texas A&M's 2026 National Signing Day show from the south end zone of Kyle Field. Hope you enjoyed it. So long, everybody.